Jack Harlan froze in his boots, staring at the three shadows huddled in the flickering light of his barn lantern. Out here in the rugged hills of Montana's Bitterroot Valley, strangers were rare, and women like these drenched from the howling blizzard. Their soaked dresses hugging bodies that stirred long-buried urges were downright impossible. The tall one with midnight black hair leaned against a post, her olive skin glistening as snowflakes melted down her neck. The young blonde chewed her lip, her ripped top exposing more skin than any proper lady would dare, defiance flashing in her eyes. And the third, a seasoned stunner with a piercing gaze, stepped forward with a sway that screamed experience no small-town girl carried. "Please," she breathed, her voice cutting through the wind like a knife. "We need shelter." In that instant, Jack Harlan, the 40-year-old virgin rancher who'd sworn off temptation for over 2 decades, knew his ironclad barriers were crumbling. But could he handle the storm brewing inside as fiercely as the one outside? His hands shook worse than during his first cattle drive as he ushered them into his cabin. The blizzard raged, sealing them in a space that felt tighter than a noose and steamier than a summer barn. "We ran from Madame Louise's place," the older one said, wringing out her chestnut locks. "I'm Evelyn. This here's Brooke," she nodded at the blonde, "and Sophia." The dark-haired woman with sharp, indigenous features, hints of Navajo blood in her proud stance, met Jack's eyes without flinching, her gaze pulling at something deep in his chest. Evelyn's gown, once elegant velvet, now plastered to her ample curves, drawing Jack's eyes despite his best efforts. "Louise was fixing to hand me over to a brute who gets his kicks from pain," she confessed, firelight dancing on her cleavage. Brooke snorted, a bitter edge to her laugh. "Lucky you and Guy. She had a trio lined up for me." Her torn blouse slipped further, revealing pale skin that made Jack's throat tighten. But it was Sophia who unraveled him. As she edged toward the hearth, her dress hiked up, exposing toned legs scarred from hard living. When she locked eyes with him, wounded yet fierce, Jack felt a pull beyond lust and ache he'd ignored for years. "You're hurt," he rasped, spotting the blood on Sophia's leg. She shrugged it off, just a fence snag, but Jack was already kneeling with water and bandages. His rough hands, steady for roping steers, trembled as he lifted her hem, revealing smooth thighs. Sophia's breath hitched, her eyes softening. "Your touch. It's kind, not like the others. In her world, men meant bruises, not care." "I won't harm you," Jack vowed, bandaging her with gentleness that surprised even him. "None of you." Evelyn watched with a soft smile. Brooke's tough facade cracked, showing the scared kid underneath. As their eyes met over the wound, a spark ignite draw, inevitable and terrifying. The storm locked them in for 4 grueling days, each hour chipping away at Jack's defenses like an axe on frozen wood. Evelyn commandeered his kitchen, her hips swaying as she bent to pull bread from the oven, stirring the hungers Jack had starved. Over coffee one night, she shared her story, widowed young, a 6-year-old son with kin, while she scraped by in the only trade that paid. "A decent man's worth more than silver in these parts," she murmured, her hand grazing his arm, sending jolts through him. Brooke was a firecracker, perched on his table with legs dangling, skirt riding high, spinning yarns that flushed his cheeks and tightened his jeans. "Ever been with a gal, Jack?" she teased on night 2, eyes twinkling. His blush fueled her laugh, but it held warmth. "We ain't here to devour you." Yet, her bravado masked terror, and Jack saw the vulnerability, igniting a protective fury. But Sophia haunted him most. Silent as a shadow, her presence hummed like a distant melody. On the 3rd night, with the others asleep, he found her by the window, moonlight carving her in ethereal light. His borrowed shirt draped her loosely, accentuating her beauty. "Can't sleep?" he whispered. Tears streaked her face. "I dream of my family. Before the raids, before everything shattered." Jack closed the gap, drawn irresistibly. She spoke of Navajo words, "Dine bizad for a man with a woman's spirit not soft, but strong in healing ways." Her fingers hovered near his cheek. "That's you, Jack Harlan." The air crackled with desire. Jack leaned in, craving her lips, but Sophia pulled back. "You don't know me, you hat. I've endured to survive." "Doesn't matter," he growled, voice thick. "You're worth it all." Had he said love? Before they could bridge the gap, Brooke's voice sliced in. "Ain't this precious?" Evelyn appeared, shushing her. "Let him be. Some fires need time." The moment shattered, Sophia retreated, leaving Jack's heart thundering like stampeding horses. Change was coming, whether he wanted it or not. Dawn broke the storm, but brought worse. The rumble of horses and the cock of rifles. Jack was chopping wood when 8 riders emerged from the drifts, led by Sheriff Harlan O'Kin, just a crooked badge bought by Madame Louise. "Jack Harlan," the sheriff barked, "you got Louise's property. Hand him over, and we'll forget this." Jack's hand found his revolver, steady now. Behind him, the door creaked. Evelyn, Brooke, and Sophia stood defiant on the porch. "No one's property on my land," Jack shouted, voice booming across the white expanse. The sheriff sneered. "They're whores, boy-owned goods to be returned." The slur hit Jack like a gut punch, not for shock, but realization. Labels meant nothing. Only thing returning is Udo, the dirt you slithered from. Sophia gasped. The fight erupted. It became valley lore, though tales twisted it. Folks said Jack stood alone like a Western hero. Truth? Bloodier, bolder. Sophia vanished into the trees, re-emerging with a handmade bow from barn scraps, arrows fletched with haste. Jack drew fire from his upturned cart, dropping 3 with precise shots. Sophia's arrows whispered death, piercing 2 hearts silently. Brooke, grabbing his rifle, snarled through gritted teeth, "Ain't going down easy." Her shot felled the sheriff mid-charge, blood-staining snow. Evelyn shielded her as a bullet grazed Brooke's arm. Silence fell like fresh powder. Jack surveyed the carnage he had killed before, in range wars, but never for souls he cherished. Brooke cursed through pain. Evelyn bandaged her. Sophia stood vigilant, bow ready. "This ain't done," Jack muttered. "Louise's pull feds, maybe Pinkertons." Evelyn nodded grimly. That night, as Brooke battled fever, the women packed. "You can't stay," Sophia said, avoiding his eyes. "We won't pull you into our hell." Jack's chest caved. "I'll ride with you." Evelyn shook her head. "You're good, Jack, but we're survivors hardened in ways that'd break you." The truth stung. They saw him as too pure. Sophia came last, under fading stars. In Evelyn's spare dress, she glowed. "What we had. It meant the world," she whispered, tracing his jaw. Jack gripped her wrist. "Then stay. I want you." Their kiss exploded desperate, sweet, tasting of wild sage and sorrow. She pulled away, tears flowing. In Navajo, sure heart you remind, but hearts can beat scarred. She pressed a carved stone pendant into his hand. Some tales pause, not end. Evelyn kissed his cheek. "Find a kind woman, Jack. Build a life, but remember us." Brooke punched his arm. "You big lug, you show me not all men are beasts." They vanished in a dawn mist, leaving Jack hollow, the pendant warm against his skin. Locals arrived, later Doc Ellis for wounds. Marshal Kane for the mess, neighbors buzzing. "You did right," Kane said, eyeing bodies. "That sheriff's gang was wanted. Feds'll clean Louise's den." But Jack stared horizon-ward, heart fractured. 18 months had blurred by. Jack Harlan transformed, not the shy recluse anymore. Valley folk noted his confidence, steady gaze, kind but firm. His ranch thrived. He even dated the local baker briefly, but something held him back. His rep as a defender grew, standing against rustlers, helping the needy. Legends swelled, but he kept truths sacred. On a crisp autumn eve, mending fences, hoofbeats echoed. A lone rider approached a woman on a spotted mare, black hair whipping free. She dismounted, eyes locking on his. The pendant pulsed. "I found peace with my roots," Sophia said, voice like warm bourbon. "Now, I want our future together." Jack's grin sealed it. They married that spring, building a life of love, kids, and hard-won joy. No more running, just home. What do you think were the women right to leave at first? Or should they have stayed and fought together? Share your take in the comments below. Who's the real hero here, Jack or the women? Let's hear your views.